welcome to the village. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the village. I'm Dr. Roz, CEO and founder of the Village Leadership Group, LLC. We are a professional learning community where we come together to serve you. Just right. We're coming together to serve teachers, teacher leaders, school leaders, educators. Listen, we want to make sure you guys are encouraged, inspired, motivated, and pumped up during these difficult times. We've been talking about self care, we've been talking about finding our joy and being intentional. Today, we're just having a straight up check in. Just right. We are checking in with our village just to see how you're doing. Like, what are your stresses? What are your challenges? What are your successes? Again, we're checking in to see how you guys are doing. Because why? Because we're the village, and it takes a village to build strong leaders, teachers, schools, and communities. And we want to come together because together we're village strong. So, again, welcome to the village. Let's check in. Wait, I'm not alone, y'all. I have one of our village elders. She's not a stranger. She's been here in the village before. My girl, Alyse Montgomery. Come on, Alyse, join me today.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the village. And remind the village who is Alyse Montgomery.
So I am a mentor teacher for Prince George's County Public Schools, a wife, a mom, God-fearing child, and just blessed and highly favored. I'm so happy to be
I
here.
know that's right. Well, welcome back, Alyse. Look, we go way back, but this is an opportunity for us to kind of check up and check in to see how we're doing. You work with a lot of teachers, and I work with teachers as well, and so we're hearing, the complaints and different issues and concerns that teachers have. So today we're just simply checking in to see how you guys are doing. So we talked about this a little bit earlier, Miss Montgomery, about some of the things that we're hearing.
Yeah.
And if you scrolling on social media, you will see how everyone is talking about how teachers are stressed out, where it's October and we feel like it's December or January.
Right. Yeah.
Teachers are quitting, they're resigning. That's on social media, but is that what you're hearing out there in the street?
It's so funny you asked that question because I work with new teachers. And so, like I said, we go way back. So we think about like our first year, the amount of things that we had to learn, like that curve, like adulting at a young age, fresh out of college. And now you're adding a pandemic. So it's actually really crazy in these streets. It's so funny. Like I was talking to a guy today, and he was just saying, outside of you, outside of this mentor, and like nobody checks on how I'm doing. And so,
Wow.
I just had to say to him, listen, let's just celebrate where we are right now. Let's just celebrate the small steps we've made it thus far. Let's worry about tomorrow, because I think as teachers and just as professionals in general, we want to do everything right and we want to do everything at our best. But if we can't pour from an empty cup, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
if we are not as a village, that's why this village leadership is so dope. If we're not really being a village and we're not really checking in on our people, what are we going to expect but just mass chaos and mass stress and mass frustration? And ultimately, it affects our children. So we have to really, really dial back a little bit and really, taking a active assessment of where we are and what our teachers need and what we all need in order to really be our best selves. It's just paramount at this time.
All right, you said a mouthful right there, so I'm going to
Yeah.
break it up into little chunks.
Yes.
First thing you said was celebrate where we are. And so a lot of teachers, especially our new teachers, they're thinking about that whole long to-do list. I have to get my grades in. I have to
Yes.
get my lesson plan. I got to get the curriculum together. I got to get my seating chart and make sure the students are wearing their masks. I mean, it's a long to-do list.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like you said, just pause,
Yeah.
breathe, celebrate where the victories and
Yeah.
celebrate the little small wins. So tell us more about that. Like, how do you, as a mentor teacher, help teachers kind of breathe and celebrate the small wins?
I like to think of things in bite-sized chunks. Like I was a SPED teacher, so we always talk about chunking as well. Just in general, that's a good teaching strategy. We should chunk. We should
Mm-hmm.
just throw everything at once, right? So, I like to do that. Bite-sized goals, bite-sized chunks. If we talked about last week that we're gonna just work on making sure that we get a warm up every day. Okay, we got to warm up every day. Maybe after the warm up things went crazy, but you know what? We got that warm up in. So let's celebrate that. Let's take time to revel in that because you know we cannot we cannot at this juncture and always do everything right. Like we got to prioritize and we got to make sure that we maximize on what's urgent and what's important, not urgent, what's not urgent, what's not important. We have to really make sure that we are putting things where they belong and what the boxes. So
Mm-hmm.
I like to really help teachers really see how can I um, identify what I need to do. How do I prioritize what I need to do, and then how do I work on checking off that list? So that's how I kind of try to do it. Bite-sized chunks, small steps. Uh, I love the saying that the journey's not given to the swift, but to the one that keeps on running. So we just gotta let our teachers know you gotta keep running, boo. I know it's tough
Keep
out
running.
here, but you just gotta keep on running. Just come on, come on, come on, and it's our job as a village to really be that coach and say, come on, come on, come on, come on. I see you. I celebrate you. It's not all bad. Let's keep going. Let's keep going together. So that's just really my motto. That's like my life motto. I live off of that. Like we gotta celebrate the small stuff because everything is a win when it's a win, no matter how big, how small. Yeah.
Awesome. And then one of the things too, you said, we go way back,
Yeah.
and teaching in itself is stressful,
What?
and it can be overwhelming without the pandemic.
Absolutely.
All of the different responsibilities. So I can't even imagine being a new teacher, or new to the game, and trying to learn how to teach,
Yeah.
and then you add an extra layer of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So one of the things that they keep talking about is that teachers are quitting. Even school administrators are quitting. So are you hearing that? Are you hearing people say, I'm
Mhm.
about to quit, or I'm thinking about quitting or giving up?
Yeah, yeah. My coworkers and I, we're in a group text and we talk about it all the time that we're like, when we're talking teachers off the ledge. My homegirl saying, I just such and such said they're fed up and they're getting ready to walk out, and it's happening. It's real, and it's creating a situation that is putting, and this is across the board. I think this is happening in education, no matter where you are. But it's putting our education system in a state of desperation. I think you
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean. So because we're losing so many people because we're not checking in, we're losing so many people. Now we're going out and we're trying to find people, and what are we ending up?
Right. Do you have a pulse? Good job. Come
Yeah,
and teach.
yeah, right. Pretty much, pretty much, and that's sad, but pretty much.
It's sad.
But you're,
It's so sad.
yeah,
But what do you do? When you're surrounded by people who want to give up. It's good that you know we are able to check in with each other and
yeah.
be a village, and a support to our teachers, our new teachers, and for each other,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
But one of the things that you were speaking of earlier, before we even started, was saying that we have to be intentional. School leaders have to be intentional. For the higher ups have to be intentional about checking in with our teachers and making sure that things aren't designed to be so overwhelming.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have to, as a systemic, I don't know, institution, as whatever
Hmm.
you wanna, I'm not good with words. That's your jab. That's where
But
you,
I got you. I got
we
you.
gotta put it together. But we have to really ask teachers what they need. Like you have to really ask teachers what they need. You have to really take, like you said, take a pulse. Take an assessment. You have to really find out. I had, we just being honest. I had a teacher today that was just stressed out because he couldn't get any paper, and I'm like, bro, you can. But it came from, believe it or not, from his school leader. Like, yeah, we don't give out paper. So I'm like, oh, okay, so that's what we doing. So I just went and bought some paper because I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to allow one person to just throw off, you know, a snowball effect of what can come out of this person breaking
Right.
down because they don't have no paper, so little things, it's little stuff, so we have to do that. We have to really, especially for our new teachers, we have to create a community. We have to create a situation in which they feel like they're not alone, where they
Mhm.
can come together, where they can learn from one another. They can be mentored by a group of veteran teachers who have had the experience and been through it. And they need to be able to go through a process where we identify an issue, we plan a way to address the issue, and then we assess it, and then we come back. It has to be very, very intentional. We can't just arbitrarily be throwing things out there saying, well, you got evaluation, you got to do grades, you got to do this. Well, first of all, how do I do that? Second of all, what does it look like? Third of all, will you help me? Right? These are the questions that teachers have, that new teachers have, and we really have to be able to address those things if we want to ever, you know, address the attrition rate, if we ever want to really see some long term success. We have to do those things.
Definitely. Definitely. We have to be intentional from
Yeah,
the top all the way down. We have to be intentional about checking in with our teachers.
yeah,
And one of the things that we do at our school is sometimes we pull people to the side and kind of say, hey, what did you do today to bring you joy or to
yeah,
put a smile on your face?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So on just on Tuesday we had Dr. Simone here and we talked about finding joy during difficult times.
yeah.
So I want to hear from you, Miss Montgomery. What do you do to find joy and to put a smile on your face during these difficult times?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, like I said, I'm a child of God. So, in my car, I'm in praise and worship all the time. Like I'm going to the Jonathan McReynolds concert tomorrow. I am pumped because that's my gospel boo. But yeah, look, look. So praise and worship all the time. I'm always trying to put myself in a position of, gratefulness and gratitude. That's one way that I find my joy. I find my joy in working with teachers. I find my joy where they have moments of celebration, or when they get aha moments like, oh shoot, that worked. Like when they see the
Mm,
bright side of things, that I find my joy in that. That thrives me. And of course, I have a beautiful family. I'm blessed with two beautiful children, and a husband. So when I have a rough day, I just go home and I just bury my face in my child's neck. The baby neck smell. That's the one right there. I just do that. So I mean, whatever works. You know what I mean. So that's what I try to do. I'm glad that you said that. You guys actually ask teachers what brings them joy, helps them find that. I think that, man, that's so important. How much more impactful will we be as a community of educators if we just got people to find out their joy, find their strengths, find where they grow, where they're their best selves, and give them that environment so that they can operate and give them resources. So, girl,
right.
hats off to y'all. Y'all getting it. Go for it.
Yes. And it's something that we do. Once we build those relationships
Yeah,
with the teachers and with each other, then we're able to hold each other accountable to
yeah,
whatever it is that we said that helps us find joy. Self care. You have to be intentional with that. Your physical, emotional, and mental health.
absolutely,
Again, you have to be intentional. And
absolutely.
so it breaks my heart when you say that the new teachers feel like they're all alone, that they're not feeling supported. And so, again, being intentional, like you said, systemic. How does the school
Yeah,
system and the leaders
yeah,
make sure that those structures are in place, that we're not leaving any teacher behind, that we are making sure that they are being intentional about their self care
yeah.
and we're being intentional about their self care?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the $1 million question, girl. I feel like um the first thing that we really need to do is one, and I think that the pandemic is forcing us to do it a little bit, but recognize that we have not addressed this issue, that we have not given teachers what they need as far as the inward being. And I think that, you know, this is kind of forcing us to scratch the surface, but we got a long way to go.
Mhm.
But so identification will be one. I think the biggest thing that we have to do, the community in which we work is so large, this area, and we serve so many people. So we have to really create little pods, if you will. Like we have to really figure
Yeah.
out a way that, each cluster or each school, these things, this is what we're going to have. These are the things that we're going to, initiatives and programs we're going to put in place to make sure that we're checking in. Town halls. We have those all the time with parents, and we have them with teachers as well. But how much more impactful would those be if we really had a focus for, how do we check in? Like using some of these platforms, we on a Zoom all day for everything else. Can we get a Zoom about some mental health? About some check-ins. So, some of those things, and I think that really from the top down, we have to instill in all of our instructional leaders the importance of, we have to think from this pyramid perspective. We got
Mm-hmm.
the students, the whole little, what do they call it, the core, the instructional core.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah, we got the students in the center, and that's fine. We got the parents, well, we have the teachers, and we have the community. So how are we really, how are we addressing these teachers? Because if we don't feed the teachers, they're gonna eat the kids, man. I'm telling you, gonna worry why we ain't got no kids, they're gonna be eating all up. um yeah, I don't, that's the
You
way
have to feed the teachers. Have
yeah,
to.
we have to feed the teacher. So we, as much as we have other areas where we're able to, from the top down, put in pockets of programs or whatever, like this needs to come to the forefront as well. So I think it
Definitely.
has to be, it has to be across the board. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is something that, again, you try to find the light at the end of the tunnel,
Yeah.
and find the good in all of this.
Yeah.
And so, when we say, I don't, when this is over or when the pandemic is over, who knows what that means.
Yeah.
but
It's a change. Yeah.
but school, the school system and what we see, what we call teaching and learning is going to look totally different.
Absolutely.
And so, and I hope that one of the things that's going to look different is how we take care of our teachers.
Absolutely.
It's so critical. And I think, like you said, we have to create these little pods, villages,
Yeah.
so that teachers will feel nurtured and
Yeah.
supported. And it can't always be about instruction.
Absolutely.
We talk about, we're going to go and help the teachers. We're going to do a learning walk. We're going to come in as the leaders, district leaders, to come see what
Yeah.
the school needs. They come and bring FFT, the framework for teaching,
Stressing
and
me out.
evaluate.
Right, right. And then providing me with no feedback, and then taking your little clipboard and driving on back to wherever you are. And yeah, absolutely. It has to be more. There's more. There is more to life, and instruction is definitely important. Of course, that's why we're here,
Yeah.
right? We're here to instruct our students, but at the same time, equally as important, if my inner man is jacked up, look, this gonna
Right.
get worse, right? So come on, we have to give weight to what weight where weight is due. We have to, yeah,
Exactly. We talk about teaching to the whole child,
absolutely,
but what about the teacher?
absolutely. It's so crazy. We talk about conscious classroom management. We talk about mindfulness. We talk about all these things. We want to
SEL, social emotional
yeah.
learning.
Gotta take a whole what is that? Safe school. I gotta do this whole website of SEL. Okay, what about me? What about
What
me?
about me?
What about my needs?
Right.
Absolutely.
But it's good that we focus on the students, because that's why we're teachers, right? Because we
Yeah,
love children.
yeah,
We're going to do whatever it takes for
absolutely.
our students. And I think sometimes, and this is, again, some of the things that we hear from teachers, is like you take that for granted.
Mhm.
You know that we love children, so you don't have to pay us our worth. You
Mhm.
know that we love children, so
Sure.
you expect us to work 12, 15, 18 hours a day to get these 2 grades in per week or 3 grades in per week on Canvas and School Max. That's a whole nother thing.
What?
And do all this testing.
Yeah.
So we care about our students. And
Yes.
that's why so many teachers are being burnt out,
You know,
because they care about the student.
yes.
And,
Absolutely.
and the higher ups, they know that. They
Mhm.
know that that's why we've signed up to be teachers.
Mhm.
But let's be honest, we need to do better.
Absolutely.
We need to do better.
We need to do better. We really do. And I think, you know, and this goes back to our, our teacher retention, So in a couple of weeks, I actually will be moving to a new position. I'm moving to a recruitment advisor, right? So, I'm trying to expand my scope, expand my impact, but um that's why I really love this job because it always reminds me to never forget, never get too high that you forget what it felt like when you was crying. Girl, I remember you was crying in that corner the first day of school. You called your mama like, I can't do this. I'm about listen, that was me. I was
Right,
that girl.
right.
And so like and that's why I appreciate you so much because you were one of those people that really helped me
Oh,
grow as an educator so that I can stick it out. You know what I'm saying? So we have to pay it forward. We have to continue to pay it forward. We cannot forget, those times where we had to overcome all of these humps to really get to a place where we can say, okay, I have a thorough understanding and I can handle these things that are coming at me and I can still be effective as an educator and inside and out, right? But that takes work. That takes work. You got to work,
mm-hmm.
do the work, right? And you got to have a community. You got to have a village. So we
Come on,
have got
girl.
we got to get it together. We got to get it together. I'm just gonna snap on that and zip my lip. I talk all day about that, but absolutely,
Right. Like
absolutely.
my students say, period.
Period. Point blank. Listen, wait. While we talking about teacher stress, did you see the TikTok slap a teacher? Have y'all seen that? The slap a teacher thing on TikTok?
Listen, don't tell the students about it who don't know about it, okay?
Okay. Because I
Mum's
listen.
the word.
I'm like,
Yes, but I heard about it, but don't try it.
so I'm like, see, y'all slapping teachers now. That's what we doing. We giving our all out here, and listen, that's a whole nother story. But
Yes, no,
yeah,
no, no.
we have to.
But yes,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah. So listen again. Thanks so much, Miss Montgomery. I'm about to say something else.
I know you. It's all right.
for
It's all
for joining the village, and
right.
thanks again just for everything that you do within our school district. And kudos to you for your new position. I can't wait to hear more about it. You have to come back to the village.
Yes, absolutely. Because look, I might be trying to get some people on this show to come on and teach with us,
Exactly.
join us, learn, join, stay. Right.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it so much. You are just, you're doing your thing out here. This is awesome.
Thank
I
you.
celebrate you. I'm proud of you, girl. So just keep giving your gifts. Let them use you.
I know
Um,
that's right.
I just appreciate it. It was a great time.
Thank you. Well, hang out right there, Ms. Montgomery, and I will check in with you later.
All
All
right.
right, guys. Again, this is your opportunity to check in with the village. We just wanted to have an honest and transparent discussion about, how we're feeling, our stress, and what we're doing to overcome during these difficult times. What are you doing to find your joy? How's everything going during these difficult times, all these challenges? We want you guys to hang in there. Why? Because we need you. We need quality teachers, teacher leaders who are passionate about teaching and learning. But we don't want you to be burnt out either. So again, we want to check in with each other and find out, hey, what do you do to find joy, to find peace, to find happiness during this time? And we gotta, be innovative and change some things so that we won't be so burnt out. Again, continue to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at the Village LG. And remember, teacher leadership is a mindset, not a position. See you next time.